I'm joined now by Captain Candice Breshears with the Kansas Highway Patrol. Captain Breshears, thanks so much for joining us this Monday morning. Very happy to have you on here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, we're kicking off a new month here today, and it's one that has a lot of meaning to KHP. April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month. From the Highway Patrol's perspective, how often do you see distracted driving creating some problems on the road?
All the time. We see drivers that are on their phones, having other devices, not paying attention. There are more things that can cause those distractions than just devices.
Right.
But those are the big ones that draw people in and take their attention away from the road, causing an increase in crashes and an increase in injury if you do get into a crash. So.
Well, it kind of goes without saying, but can you kind of speak to the impact that, having a person on a highway going 70, 75 miles and not having their full attention on the road, what kind of issues that can prompt?
Absolutely. A basic text message takes about 5 seconds to send. And when you have your eyes off the road, when you're traveling that fast, it's like driving the length of a football field without your eyes on the road. When you think about the things that can change and how fast people are going out on the roadway, you could potentially cause a crash, or someone else could do something that, causes them to come into you.
Right.
When you're not paying attention to the road, you could miss that opportunity to avoid that crash. So we really encourage everybody to make sure that they're putting those distractions away when they're driving, so that they limit their chances of being in a crash. So even just here in Topeka, we see this all the time, but it was a couple weeks ago that we had one of our motorist assist units that was struck right as you get onto 470 because of a distracted driver. So that is something that's very, very important to us, and we want people to be safe out on the roadway, so please put those distractions away.
Please do. Well, in addition to the Awareness Month, April 15th through the 19th, we'll see Work Zone Awareness Week. Can I have you speak to the importance of raising work zone awareness and if it's connected in any way to distracted driving?
It's not necessarily connected to distracted driving, but we do see distracted driving in all types of roadways. So when we talk about distractions, when you go into a work zone, there are people that are working, whether it's law enforcement, EMS, other first responders that are responding to crashes, or your workers that are working there on the road, whether it's a KDOT crew or a city maintenance crew. Those people have families, and if you're not paying attention to the roadway, then you might cause a crash and they might not make it home to their families. So it really is more about focusing on the roadway and keeping everybody safe so that everybody can return home to their families at the end of the day.
Exactly. Well, you kind of mentioned it there throughout our conversation here, but for the viewers at home, what are some ways that they can limit some of the distractions that are kind of tempting while they're behind the wheel on the highway? That's
a great question. So most of your smart devices will have an option to set in a do not notify while driving. You can turn that on and your phone will sense when your vehicle is on, and it will automatically send those text messages back to those that have contacted you, letting them know that you're driving, and you'll respond to them later. Also, a good idea is to go ahead and put that phone in your console, in your glove box. That way, if something does happen, you know where that phone is, because just like your vehicle, everything inside your vehicle is traveling at the same speed. So if you get into a crash, that phone is going to go flying. If you don't have your seatbelt on, you're going to keep traveling. So go ahead and put those phones or other devices in a safe space. That way you know where they are in an emergency.
Gotcha. Well, Captain Breshears, thank you again for joining us. A very important awareness month to make sure that we're talking about. So thanks for raising that awareness here on the 1st of April.
Thanks, Matthew.
Of course. And with that, we'll send it back over to Becky Taylor for another look at her day ahead.